Good afternoon, students. Today we are going to revise our second chapter, Latitudes and Longitudes. We know the Earth rotates on its axis from west to east. Axis is an imaginary line that connects the poles passing through the center, and this axis had two endpoints. These points represent poles. The point at the top represents the North Pole and the point at the bottom represents the South Pole. When we look at the globe, we see a set of circles and semicircles on it. The full circles run from east to west, and they are called the lines of latitude. And the semicircles that join the North Pole and the South Pole and run from the north to south, they are called the lines of longitude or the meridians. And parallels and meridians cut each other at 90 degrees. What are latitudes? Equator is an imaginary line which runs halfway between the North Pole and the South Pole. It divides the Earth into northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. And this is the longest latitude. Equator is the longest latitude. Numbering the lines. These lines are given numbers starting with the equator, which is at 0 degree. And the number of all the other lines is followed by N or S, because the equator divides the Earth into two hemispheres, northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere, and the equator is at 0 degree. And the North Pole and the South Pole. North Pole is 90 degree north and the South Pole is 90 degree south. When the lines of latitude to the north of the equator are given names from 1 degree north to 90 degree north. Thus, there are 90 latitudes drawn to the north of the equator. Similarly, lines of latitude to the south of the equator are given names from 1 degree south to the 90 degree south. And there are 90 latitudes drawn to the south of the equator. Thus, including the equator 0 degree, there are total of 181 lines of latitude. Besides the equator, there are 4 important latitudes. Tropic of Cancer 23.5 degree north, Tropic of Capricorn 23.5 degree south, Arctic Circle 66.5 degree north, Antarctic Circle 66.5 degree south. These are the 4 important latitudes. Then properties of latitudes. Importance of latitudes. Latitudes are parallel to each other, so they are also known as the parallels of latitude. And the equator is the largest latitude. As we move to the north or south of it, the parallels of latitude go on decreasing in size and finally reduce to a dot at the poles. Third one, the equator is the most important latitude and is also called the Great Circle. Then longitudes. Longitudes are the set of semicircles which run from North Pole to South Pole on the globe, and these are known as the meridians of longitude. The word meridian means midday, and hence a meridian of longitude joins the places that have midday at the same time. How do we number the meridians? The longitude that passes through the observatory at Greenwich near London is the prime or main meridian and is numbered 0 degree. All other longitudes are numbered starting with the 0 of the prime meridian and are followed by east, E for east and W for west. And this divides the Earth into 2 equal halves, Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere. The area between 0 degree east and 180 degree east is called the eastern hemisphere, while the area between 0 degree west and 180 degree west is called the western hemisphere. 180 degree west and 180 degree east is the same longitude and is called the international date line. Properties of longitudes. All the meridians are of the same length. The longitudes do not run parallel to each other but meets at the two poles. This is the diagram of meridians of longitude. The distance between the two meridians is maximum at the equator. The gap between them decreases as we move towards a pole where the longitudes meet. And there are 360 meridians of longitude in number. Here we can see in the diagram North Pole, South Pole, and these are the parallels of latitudes, and these are the semicircle and called the meridians. This is the equator and this is known as the prime meridian. The word meridian comes from the Latin word meridius, which in Latin is derived from two words, meri meaning middle and dies meaning day, midday. Grid system. A network of latitudes and longitudes on the globe to locate places on the globe is known as grid. The point at which a latitude and a longitude meet. Here we can see in the diagram the point at which, longitudes and latitudes meet at a point. Their intersection helps us to locate a place. Then longitude and time. Longitudes help us to calculate the time of a place. We know the earth takes 24 hours to complete one rotation. One rotation means 360 degree to complete 24 hours. In other words, the earth takes 4 minutes to rotate 1 degree. That is, the time difference between two consecutive meridians is 4 minutes. The 180 degree longitude is also called the international date line. And this one is the international date line, and it is not a straight line and has been drawn in an irregular manner so as to avoid cutting through a land area. When we move towards the east side of this international date line, then we gain or add a day, and when we move towards the west of this side, we lose or subtract a day. So students, this is all about the longitudes and latitudes. If you have any query, you can contact me on my WhatsApp. Thank you.